Hi, I'm Graham Lasso, and you're listening to Eat, Sleep, Chelsea, Repeat with Chris, Craig, and Brady.
Eat, sleep, Chelsea, repeat. Eat, sleep, Chelsea, repeat. Eat, sleep, Chelsea, repeat. Eat, sleep, Chelsea, repeat.
Welcome to the Eat, Sleep, Chelsea, Repeat pod. The headline this week: the theatre of dreams turns to nightmare for Chelsea. Today I am joined by my good friend Brady. How you doing?
Yeah, Craig's where is he? Greece? I don't know where he is.
I think he's in hiding with these results, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in hiding in a safe house or something. Yeah, he's sunning it up somewhere. I don't know, with his family, and we're watching torrential rain first half, Mancunian fever dreams. I mean, that first half was. I mean, that first 20 minutes.
First 20 minutes, yeah.
It was the most bizarre episodes of football and painful I'd ever watched. It was very odd. Even my girlfriend was like, "What's going on here?" She's got no interest in football. She's like, "This is weird." But yeah. There's a lot going on, and not much of it particularly good, really. I'd say.
I would agree. Yeah, I think I messaged one of my groups on WhatsApp saying, "In all of the nightmares you can imagine before the game started, this is probably up there, sort of top 5."
Yeah, I've actually got a few stats. I nicked this from an FPL pod I listened to, but Chelsea for the first time had more cards than shots in a game.
Wow!
First time it's the first time Premier League history that 3 subs have been made within 21 minutes by one team. I think the first time in Premier League history there was 2+ goals. Two goals, 2 reds, and 2 subs in the first half.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing stats.
Yeah,
it's so rare to see such an interesting well, obviously the red card can happen that early, but I think that was one of the earliest. And then you sort of the subs they just kept coming. It was strange. Look, we're gonna break it all down. That's what we're gonna have to do. And let's start with obviously the full-time result was Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1, 1.8 expected goals from Manchester United, 0.4 expected goals from Chelsea. Chelsea obviously going down to 10 men. Robert Sanchez sent off in 5 minutes. Trevor Chalobah did get a goal back 10 minutes from time. But goals from Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, who was actually also sent off before half-time. Forget about that. It finished 2-1 Manchester United. 58% possession for Chelsea. 83% pass accuracy. 1 shot on target out of 5. And 2 saves out of 4, which may have been shared between Sanchez and Jorgensen. There was some peppering of the goal before even he was sent off. Right, let's do some likes and dislikes. What have you got for me?
Well, likes is we were expected to win, and it hurts. I remember when we went to Manchester United, I think it was under Lampard. I mean, we are going to the doldrums of recent Chelsea history here, so maybe it's not the best, but I think we got beat 4-1. I think João Felix scored a cracking goal.
It was the first game of the season, wasn't it?
No, it was right at the end. This was under Lampard was 4 years. That was, I don't mean when Lampard was interim. I mean, so this is.
Oh yeah.
So we lost 4-1. I think Kepa was in goal, and we lost 4-1. And you just expected nothing. But we all expected to win this game or to perform very well. Now look, we had a goalkeeper sent off in 3 minutes, so as Maresca said, game plans in the bin. But even with that caveat, the performance was just disappointing. And I think that's almost a sign of progress in a way that we were annoyed that Garnacho didn't come on, Gittins didn't come on, that Neto was taken off, that that Esteval was taken off or whatever. It shows that we think Pedro Neto is like a key player at the moment. We're annoyed he was taken off. So there's players that we want to see and there's players that we like seeing, if that makes sense. So that's different from a few years ago when you just got kind of Aubameyangs, just players like that. Pulisic's you're just not really too bothered about. We have players that we really want to get behind, and we know that if we play well versus that Manchester United team, we're going to win. So that's what makes it annoying, I think. But that's kind of a bit of a like, because I think it shows that the squad has improved.
I don't have any likes for this game.
I was
genuinely. I was really struggling. There's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there are some performances that we'll talk about more players.
Yeah, come on to performers. I want to talk about dislikes because
go on,
we
you
spoke.
dive in.
we spoke on the last pod going in from the Bayern Munich match about away games and performances.
You did.
So last season we popped up to Manchester United, and we drew 1-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Manchester United finished 15th last season. Okay.
Yeah.
And we didn't beat them. How many teams who finished above Manchester United last season did we beat in the league? Away from home.
Forest.
That's one. Yeah.
Scott, let me have a, what I'm going to do quickly is have a quick look at the Premier League table from last year. Give me a second. Just give me 2 seconds here. Table, right. Last year. Right. So, we've got Forest. Yeah.
Forest is one.
Away from home. West Ham,
we beat West Ham 3-0.
Palace away, no. Fulham away, did we?
Fulham away,
we
right? Did, yeah. We scored. Neto got goal of the season in the last second.
Bournemouth away, we beat 1-0. Christopher
Nkunku scored in the last 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. Villa away, no, we lost that one. Newcastle away, obviously, we lost Brighton. I don't remember that game. What happened with Brighton?
No, Brighton, unfortunately, we lost 3-0.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We played them twice in a very short space.
That was a 0-0 that stopped the title charge, so we didn't win that one.
So the answer, you've got them all. The answer's 4.
Right.
So from 15th to 1st, away from home last season, we won 4 games.
And none in the top 6, right? I mean, we were in the top 6.
And we lost every game to the top 6.
Yeah, to the top 5, we'll call it, because we were in the top 6.
Yeah, we were in the top, yeah. So I think the difficulty I've got at the moment with Maresca is he isn't showing me anything that I'm impressed with in these away games. And I think going into this game, having spoken, obviously, watching the Bayern Munich game, we spoke about a reaction, show a bit of something here. We've just been beaten quite badly in Munich. And even before Sanchez was sent off, they were running round us, and we looked panicked. It was like a rabbit in the headlights first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that led to the incident of Mbeumo being through on goal, 20 yards from our goal, from a what is a long ball, basically.
Yeah.
And that caused the issue. So I'm struggling to understand exactly what is being instructed to these guys before the game starts, because I've never seen Chelsea come out and play like what I saw Manchester United come out like on Saturday in the beginning, where they were fighting for their lives. Amram was going to probably be sacked if we had lost, if we had beaten them. His job was on the line, and they looked like they were up for it. We looked like we turned up for some sort of pre-season tournament.
Yeah, it was. The application wasn't there, was it? I mean,
Yeah, I think the evidence is there to say that this team is not ready for big away games. And it hasn't been last season. And this season, West Ham, I mean, they gave us all the goals, basically. And then Brentford away.
I'm not being funny. I've got some good West Ham mates, but I mean, I'm not being funny. Like Blackburn could be West Ham at the moment.
But Brentford away, that wasn't good enough.
I actually don't think this is the way thing. I mean, if you think about Fulham at home to Crystal Palace home, we were poor first half. Every first half, we're not really getting out of the blocks. I do think there's clearly a hangover from Club World Cup, and I'm not making any excuses for that at all. Obviously, we're second in the injury list, but we look leggy, and we look like we want it. Like I think the players care. I think they're bonded. I think they really care. But the application and the hunger to win games isn't there at the moment, and that is worrying, to be honest.
I've never, there's a lot of feelings you feel after the game's finished. I felt embarrassed, to be honest with you, when that game finished. Like, that was a really embarrassing display, because Chelsea get talked up quite a bit with the money they've spent, get a lot of bashing in the media. And we, when you watch Chelsea every week, they play some decent stuff occasionally, not consistently, I'd say, sometimes a half at a time. But there's the underlying performance is actually relatively good, the structure and stuff. But I got to say, turning up to some of these games, I feel bad for the fans, these away games, it just it's absolutely hopeless.
I mean, it was a bad week for Maresca, wasn't it? That's just it was a bad week. I mean, my dislike is it's only a 5-game sample, but look, I'm not expecting us to be winning 5 out of 5, but we needed 10 points from this. I mean, people say that we got 8 and we should have got 10. We should have got 10 or 11, and people are like, "Oh, it's not a big difference." It's a massive difference. If you do like that over a season, we're going to be losing like 15, 20 points behind where we should be. At the moment, if we go on at this rate, 1.6 points per game, and people say yes, small sample size, we only have 61 points, and we haven't had any tough games yet.
Well, this is the real issue now. The season looked promising at the beginning, and we've got 2 wins, 2 draws. I got a loss. If you turn up to Brighton at home next Saturday and you go 1-0 down, your next people are going to get a little bit worried, and then you're thinking ahead because you automatically go, "Oh my god, we've got Liverpool the following week."
And by the way,
we've got to win. Yeah,
it's Brighton, Benfica, Liverpool in the space of a week. Look, I was promised 80 points this year. Finally, it's been a while. Do you know the average points for Chelsea in the last 5 seasons? You had to guess in the Premier League.
Probably about average points would be
the part
about 50, 52.
No, it's higher. 63, right?
Okay, I thought how many did we get in that? I mean, I thought we got 40 odd in that.
We did, but the average, we had some points in the 70s. Like the last one,
Poch got 60, didn't he? 63,
and and Tuchel got a couple. Tuchel, look, to be honest, like really ever since we won the league with Conte was 15, 16, 16, 17. Sorry, we've never got 80 points, and this was the year apparently that we were going to get it, but I think we might struggle because it's already showing that Maresca is struggling with 3 games a week. He's talking about learning experience and all that, and it's a bit of a crossroad moment for the club. Not in terms of that dramatic, but we might end up having a good run in the Champions League and scrapping it out again for 5th.
Well, it does look that way, doesn't it? I mean, as I said, the Brighton game's going to be it could be a bit of a turning point. You win the game. It feels a lot more confident than going into Liverpool.
I'll say this much. I think this might be a bit controversial. So we're still a bit of a glorified cup team, to be honest. If you think about it, the Conference League and we're good at cups. We're good at winning trophies, which is great. But our league form, we haven't competed for a long time at the top. I mean, we're talking 10 years. I mean, 8 years. That's a long time. I mean, we tease Arsenal fans that they don't win anything, I think that's. But
I would argue if you get slightly going off track here, but I think you'd argue that was mostly down to poor recruitment historically, and I think I don't think it's difficult because Carragher made some good points. I thought this weekend after the game,
sort of that on this pod, mate. It's not that.
Well, I know, and I don't really like Carragher that much, but he was right in what he said. Chelsea have spent a lot of money. Forget about net spend. You've spent money. Even if you haven't spent, you've still bought a load of players, and 3.5 years or 6, 7, 8 transfer windows later, the people who are playing for you, Chalobah costs nothing, Tosin costs nothing, James costs nothing, but we rate James. You got £200 million people in midfield. One of them will come on to, and it doesn't, it doesn't look good. Sanchez is in goal, who, he's obviously got a mistake in him, we know that, but he's been okay. But it's not like you could outlay that money. I could give you that money now with Nottingham Forest, give you that same amount of time. You could build a better team than what we've got to play now. No one's suggesting Chelsea might not be good in 4 or 5 seasons, but this season, the body of work for the last 3.5 years to get to this team now, it feels like it's not as good as it needs to be.
Well, this is down to the first 6 months under Clearlake, I think. I mean, when Todd Bowley it's Koulibaly. That's a one-word answer, isn't it? Koulibaly. We bought Koulibaly, and then he wasn't deemed good enough. Well, he was seen as the. I mean, this might laugh now. He was seen as like the experienced flagship buy.
Yeah.
And it's not like they didn't try and buy an experienced centre back, but it just didn't work out because one, maybe he wasn't good enough, and two, Tuchel was sacked, and then it just didn't work out whatsoever. And it's so like there's been a lot of mistakes in recruitment, and mainly probably towards the tail end of the Roman reign, and then the start of the Clear Lake one, and they're still trying to sort that out, unfortunately.
I think they've gone a bit. I think they went a bit backwards in this window because it feels like they've gone back to the kind of Madueke, Mudryk signings of we because the team's been built up over 3 years, and then they've kind of gone, well, no, we're going to go back to
I think Chelsea probably have to
inexperienced.
go in for Mark Gahey in January. I think you have to. In the summer, I was thinking, no, I don't. But I think we should go in for a big centre back because
But Maresca doesn't seem to rate the signings either. He doesn't want to play them.
No, he doesn't.
Well, that is even more worrying. What on earth was Garnacho and Gittins can't even get a kick, and he's 50. That's £100 million between Garnacho and Gittins, and they couldn't even see that Tyreek George is coming on.
Yeah, we'll talk
That's
about
crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah,
from Maresca.
Should we move on to the old players because I'm sure there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about some of these guys. Let's do temperatures.
Time to see whose form's on top, who's heating up, whose temperature's dropped, who's been playing well and who's not. It's freezing, warming up, boiling hot.
Right, freezer. I mean, we'll get the easy one out of the way.
Who's that?
The flying, the flying karate kid.
Yeah. He's got a cameo.
Sanchez, maybe had to be somewhere. Sanchez.
Sanchez is it's like Doctor Doom. It's like a Doctor Doom kind of Marvel catastrophe countdown. So it goes in his head. He does something completely stupid, and then it resets again. So in about November, he'll do something completely stupid again. Look, I'm not going to massively get on Rob Sanchez because last week he was in warming up, and I'm not going to say, now we should get rid of him and all this.
Oh, no.
He is what he is. He's a decent goalkeeper. He can make some very good saves. His high claims, I'm here for it. His distribution can be very good, but he has got an absolute brain fart in him, probably monthly. Let's be honest. He's probably got 3 or 4. I mean, this one was particularly bad, but it's when Haaland chipped him last year when he came out of the Etihad, stuff like that. The Rice one against Arsenal. There'd be a couple more.
But these are big games. This is what I'm talking about. These guys just fall apart.
But you said last week that he's been unlucky that these mistakes have led to a goal, and he means well. He's trying to come out, and he kicks.
If you watch, he does kick the ball, but it's one of those where sometimes you just have to just not do anything.
I think it dealt with not.
If it was the 90th minute. That's the best thing he could have done.
The whole team seemed panicked and in the rain, right? And he is very not hot-headed, but you can tell he sometimes doesn't always think his decisions through. So they're just in a bit of a hot oven, really. They were just in this cauldron of panic almost, and Sanchez isn't good in that environment. You need to calm him down, get into the game, and and he won't miss a game. I think his suspension is for Lincoln because it was preventing a goal rather than violent contact.
Yeah.
So he'll start against Brighton. He'll be back in. And I'm not going to say to him, go and get Magnan or whatever. I mean, that's another discussion. Some people will say that. But Rob Sanchez has what he has in him. But he also sometimes will make a miraculous save that I think many keepers can make, and he might get us a point. So you can get on the guy, and there was a huge thing on X, we should have got Magnan, and why didn't we go in for Donnarumma? There might be a bit of a point to that, but I don't think you should go the other way where he's terrible, because he isn't. He is what he is. Right.
Yeah, I agree. You're exactly right. Here's what he is. He will play well in a lot of games, and then he will do that, and that's just what he does. And that's, what Maresca needs to do, and what you hope they're doing is trying to cut this stuff out by explaining to him that 5 minutes into the game, if someone's clean through on goal, if you are not 100% sure you're getting the ball, you leave it and you go 1-0 down and you trust the team to get us back into it.
Yeah.
Because with 10 men for 85 minutes, we are in big, big trouble.
I also have to say it's very easy for Carragher to say, get a good centre back when you've got Virgil van Dijk and Alisson, who the variance of transfers they just happen to get amazing buys, right? There's a scenario where Van Dijk doesn't work out sometimes, got injured, or same with Alisson. I mean, they're both elite players, but like, it's we bought Kepa instead of Alisson because Alisson didn't want to come to us because we didn't have Champions League, and that's a sliding doors moment for this football club. Like we nearly got Alisson right. Like it's just it's not like Chelsea haven't tried to buy elite players. Like Chelsea have been in for Van Dijk. Like Chelsea have been in for these big players, and just hasn't worked out. It's like it's. I just find the narrative of our like you need the core three at the back to win. Yeah, you do, but you also need a lot of things to go wrong. So, yeah, like should be a bought Sanchez in the first place. That's debatable. But to say now that he's rubbish. It's I'm not saying you're saying that, but it's just the overreaction was too much. But
I do agree.
Obvious freezer. Yeah,
obvious freezer. All right, who else we got?
I mean,
I've go on.
This is why I moved you along a little bit before 10th. I'm going to put Maresca in.
Yeah.
It was a bad week for Maresca. Probably the worst in his tenure, maybe. He
hasn't been managing that long, has he?
Yeah, he had a few bad ones last year. I mean, Ipswich away was pretty bad. And then when we were 2-0 down against Ipswich and he said the game was over with a half left, I didn't love that.
Well, it's very similar to that moment in a way. It was kind of like 10 men, right, let's pack up and go home kind of thing. It's like, well, hang on a minute.
The first one, the Neto off, I will never understand because I get he said you want 5 versus 5. I kind of get that. Like you want.
Well, it still doesn't make sense because Neto is a great defensive player.
You could leave Neto at wing back. You need runners in that spot. I get taking Esteval off. And he was a bit unlucky because Palmer had to come off, and like he probably wasn't thinking because obviously they knew Palmer was just about fit or just 70% fit. So obviously, if Cole Palmer plays that game, then it's different because you do have a creative spark. But we didn't know Palmer was going to come off. But to take Neto off, Craig will disagree and he disagreed in the watch. It looked like he panicked a bit. It was like he was in the rain. It was all going off. They're going on the tactical boards. I think he's like, we've got to go over 5. I think he panicked, and
he didn't need to really because Esteval for me was the clear person to go off just because of the position and the age and all that stuff. So you do the Jorgensen Esteval sub, and then you think because guess what, you got loads of time to think, and because people will fill in. If Chalobah had gone off the pitch injured. People get sprayed and then they've got to stand off the pitch for 30 seconds. Yeah. People will fill in and you get on with it. Yeah. You might need to fill in for about 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5, but you need to analyse. It's such an unusual time to get a red card. But he seemed to just sort of, like you say, I don't know, the atmosphere, the rain, everything, he just kind of went, it almost had been like he was so frustrated about the red card, he'd almost given up and been like, right, if I'm going to make it seem as if, we had no chance of winning this game then.
In a way, he was either irrational, hot-headed, or too logical, where he was like, right, I'm a system manager, I need 5 at the back, not thinking about the personnel, not thinking that Neto is our best runner and can stretch them, because we had no one else really that could do that other than João Pedro, really. Palmer can't stretch teams that much, especially if he's not fit. So, look, I think this is the biggest sequence of game he's never had to do. Like Brentford away, obviously, that was a tough game, and his selection in that in the first half was very questionable. Probably cost us the win, really, I think. Yeah, I think if we had a slightly better team, I think he would, I think we would have won that game. Bayern, I thought the performance was decent at times, but obviously we got beaten. And then, Sunday was Sunday. And look, he's never had a lineup of games like that in his life. And he managed at Parma and he managed at Leicester, that's it. Like, Conference League was a big deal for him, like all those games, like.
Yeah, but he didn't have to think, did he?
Enzo, mate, it's not A and B anymore. You've got to bring your A. It's not the A and B team anymore. You can't just tell Nkunku that he's playing on Thursday or not on Saturday. You've got to bring your A game now, son, and you've got to rotate players. And look, we've got some injuries, fine, but you've got to keep the players motivated and fresh. As simple as that. Like if he has to chop minutes up and he has to do the Postecoglou thing where like. He makes 3 subs on the hour all the time. The classic Kovacic to Barkley on the hour. It's like you do that, but you work it out. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's 3 games a week for months and months and months, and we're not playing pub teams we're not disrespecting Nara and the other teams of the world. They're pub teams. We beat them 8-0. Like we've got I just said it earlier. We've got Brighton, Benfica, Liverpool in the space of 7 days. That's real. That's real. And like if we want to be a top club, he's got to deal with it. So yeah, he has to learn. He is learning on the literally. You can tell. I said that on our X account. You're watching someone who is learning on the job how to manage how to manage Premier League, Champions League, Premier League. We're watching in front of our eyes, and it was awful, really, what he was doing. But I hope he can adapt quickly, and I think he will. But he has to adapt quickly.
Yeah, he does need to, and it's going to be tricky for him because, like I said, games keep coming. Benfica, Brighton, obviously Lincoln is going to be tomorrow night, and then you got Brighton.
Sometimes it's about management, not coaching. I'll put it that way. Like with Tuchel, it was like I think in some ways Maresca might be a better coach. I mean, Tuchel's an incredible coach as well, but Maresca is an incredible coach on the training ground. He knows how to prepare a game, but can he manage the squad? Can he manage expectations, players, egos, schedules? I think that's what it's going to come down to. So.
Yeah,
because that's a big part of it. It's not just about prepping the players; it's about having them ready 3 games a week to play, right?
Yeah, and the thing I worry about with Maresca, because obviously the 2 subs later on were for me almost even worse.
I mentioned that, but it's very odd.
Gusto, I don't know what he's trying to do. If I'm honest, I just can't.
Was injured, that was tired, but the thing is, he had to make a stub at half time because if Fofana gets tired later, then I get only making 1 sub because you need 1 in your pocket because one of the players are going to get tired or whatever. It's fine. But Garnacho on for a centre back or whoever was just so obvious. Like we needed a runner. You could have put anyone there. You could have put. I mean, if Mudryk was fit, not fit, if he wasn't banned, anyone who can stretch the team. Literally, who fit long, run after it. We had no one that could do that. So. Garnacho was ready. I think he would have had a point to prove. I don't think he would have been overawed at all. I think he would have been over-eager, maybe snatching at shots a bit, but he was up for it, Garnacho, you could tell. So
definitely, he would. He's the person I would have really wanted to see on because
I was watching it thinking, this is a story. This is
going to be the moment, right?
It's going to be Garnacho 2-2. Like that's the story, and maybe it would have been, but Maresca denied us that with his. I mean, look, we should talk about it now. I mean, look, I like Tyreek George more than you and Craig. You guys don't rate him. I think he's okay. But he should have gone to Fulham and it fell through. Yeah, the only reason it fell through is because Harry Wilson didn't go to Leeds. Yeah. So that's the only reason it fell through. It's basically it got the Ornstein. I think got the Ornstein here. I think got Here We Go, didn't it? I mean, it was done.
It was done. Yeah, he basically pulled out last second. Wilson, he didn't want to go.
Yeah, and look, Tyreek George. You can think he's poor or whatever. But he's not a 9 for a start, right? So you can say he's not a great left winger. He's not a 9 in the sodden rain at Old Trafford against Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire actually watched live. He actually played versus Man United at home. Do you remember when we played them? We beat them 1-0, and I was there. Harry Maguire was manhandling him, literally. I mean, he was all over him, and he put him on again. And look, I have no idea what Mark Guiu has done to. And maybe some things that I can't say in this pod, but he's done something because he's not even in the Lincoln squad apparently. So I have no idea why Mark Guiu was not brought on in that game instead of Tyreek George. If you're going to put a 9 up there, Pedro, just put Guiu on. He's fit. He played for Sunderland. He scored in the League Cup this year. I have no idea. I actually just realised why Guiu can't play because Guiu is cup tied. So fair enough, Maresca. Because he can't play in the League Cup because he's cup ties. That's why Guiu.
Yeah, because he scored in the previous round.
Yeah, that's why he's not in the Lincoln squad. Okay, that makes sense now. So which is a shame actually. It could be good for Guiu to play some minutes in the League Cup. But anyway, very odd to put that Tyreek George in that situation. He gets slaughtered online. It's not good, man. He shouldn't be getting minutes, really. To be honest, they should be thinking about.
Why is he getting minutes ahead of Gittins as well as one of the quickest players in the team?
I'll say about Jamie Gittins. Jamie Gittins is basically 4th choice left winger for his club. When you think about it,
it's crazy how what we've done at left wing.
If he's bringing Tyreek George on before him, you've got Esteval started left wing, by the way. I don't know if people actually remember that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Esteval started left wing in this game. So if he's starting Esteval left wing, then that's him in front, Garnacho in front probably, and maybe Kyrie George in front, and then maybe Neto sometimes. So Gittins isn't going to get a minute. So very odd, very odd. And
Well, we'll see Gittins against Lincoln, I assume.
Yeah, of course. But okay, I think Jamie Gittins got some Champions League experience. I think he probably wants to play more versus Lincoln. So
take what you can get at the moment.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a mess from Maresca, almost rhymes, and he needs to fix up with 3 games a week now, and not a friendly in between. It's not A and B anymore. It's just A. You just got to bring your A game. That's it.
All right. Anyone else for the freezer? I've got one more. There's so many. Enzo Fernandez again for me, just dreadful. Just it was, I felt sorry for him a little bit because it's not his fault he's slow. But
I do remember when, I remember now why.
Well, the reason I have a problem with him is he picks the ball up, especially in the second half of this game where it's 10v10. We've got a lot of the ball, fine, it's raining, but his passing is nowhere near good enough. He almost picks the ball up and you think, oh my God, this is going to be some sort of Luka Modric, Cesc Fabregas regen.
Yeah.
And he passes the ball like I would. And I can't understand it. Like I watch him play and I'm like, it's 10v10 on a massive pitch as well. Why is he even still on? He's the worst person to have on because he's not quick. So he had a really bad game again. He hasn't played well this season. And I really think we've got to consider dropping him. He has to be dropped.
I'll feed it in. I'm not going to talk about Enzo Fernandez because I'm going to talk. I've spoken about a lot. I mimic everything you say. I'm just going to go into warming up, and the net man warming up is Andre Santos, and this links in with Enzo because Santos is a good player. 51 out of 58 accurate passes in this game, 9 passes in the third, 5 out of 8 ground duels, 7 recoveries. He had that really good assist, or almost assist versus Bayern. He just looks a very good young player. I think he's captain. He was captain for Brazil under-21s. He's in the Brazil squad regularly. They trust him. I think he's a player where he can progress in his career, where he's got the ability when he gets older to settle back into a 6 or maybe become an 8. He's got a lot of abilities. He is box to box. Like he's that kind of player. Like he's got a lot of attributes. And I'm not saying that, you want Enzo Fernandez out of the team, but Andre Santos is pushing for minutes. He's a very, very good player. And he came on the Club World Cup and he impressed me. He can pivot on it, not like Lavia, but he can pivot on the ball, which is for Chelsea. Lavia does, which is so good. He can pick it up with his back to goal and pivot and get us going. Like, Fernandez can't do that. He's too slow. He's too slow. He gets caught on the ball to do that. And yeah, Fernandez is he's had a poor season. I don't think he should be vice captain. He's this stupid thing.
He has to be dropped.
I think there was Agate. I think he put his studs in on Agate again. He keeps doing his stupid tackles. He's a massive red card risk in games for this.
He was very lucky not to.
He's a bit of a hothead where he'll get into it. Even like that time where he was getting it, just winding up Mason Mount off the ball, which you don't love, but he gets distracted. Like, just if you're vice captain, don't be doing that. Like, you can point at the badge and all that when you're scoring in the Conference League final, brilliant. But that's great. But it's like he gets distracted all the time. So yeah, I thought Andre Santos was very good, and I think Andre Santos warming up is probably coinciding with Enzo Fernandez having he's having a very poor season, and at the moment, Andre might be in the first team soon. We'll put it that way.
I hope he is. Look, the price tag is obviously the big issue with Enzo. You can't, dropping him is a big deal because he hasn't been dropped.
The second half of last season, he was good. He got a lot of goals and assists. He got closer to goal. He was better, but the pace is an issue. And he tackles well and he presses well, but sometimes when he's pressing, I find it a bit of a point. They always say that he runs, but it's almost like Enzo, mate. Save your energy. But sometimes he presses and it's not an aggressive press. Do you know what I mean? It's like, when you're playing football and like Gallagher was on you, or even like some elite pressers. You're like, whoa, like you're under pressure. When Fernandez is there, it's like, I've got all the time in the world.
I genuinely think I cannot see a world where we turn up to a game, massive game, like any of the top teams, with Enzo Fernandez central midfield next to Caicedo, and we comfortably win. I think he's always going to be a problem in these games.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to move on from him. I think we just have to say thanks very much, but we need someone with athleticism in there now.
Well, Lavia today, he posted the picture that he's in full training. Every Chelsea fan is just begging that Romelu Lavia can stay fit, and not because we want Enzo Fernandez another option, because the thing with Enzo is as well, when he plays consecutive games, he gets tired. I think he had that hernia problem as well, didn't he? Just I think that, I don't know if that's still affecting him or whatnot, but him playing 90-90-90 was never the plan, actually. It was supposed to be chopped up with Lavia, and a lot of these players, they're playing more minutes than they should, I think. And I think Fernandez is one of them. I don't think he should be playing every week. I think you take him, he's horses for courses a little bit sometimes, and some games are better for Lavia and some for him, but he's playing every game. So I think that's the issue, personally.
Yeah. I've got one more I want to talk about.
You got any warming up? No?
No. Oh, I want to, I'll talk a little bit. I'll come on someone. I do have someone. I'll quickly talk about Tosin.
Back to the freezer.
Right?
Right.
And it's just too, obviously, he didn't have a good game either. But I want to focus on the goals, right? Because I watched the goals back, and I love watching the goals back because you can see where the issues are, right? Tosin, in both the goals, has the best view of them out of everyone.
Yeah.
He can see Bruno Fernandes standing right in front of him. Yeah, for the first goal.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do anything. They're so obsessed with playing this offside trap on the 18-yard box that they're forgetting that sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it actually, we're not trying to play offside because it's not relevant. And the ball comes in, and his first thinking is, instead of following Bruno Fernandes in case he scores, he tries to run back to play offside, even though Chalobah's standing next to him. And I cannot understand it for the life of me. How you can possibly defend like that in a football game. You must sense the occasion, what's happening. You cannot afford to let these guys score. And your first inkling is to sense danger and deal with it. And he doesn't do it. And in the second goal, exactly the same thing. The ball gets hoofed up in the air by James. I tell you what, people go and watch this goal and watch Tosin, yeah? He just watches this happen. He watches three people crowd around the ball, the goalie doesn't come, and Shaw goes up and heads it and Casemiro scores. He doesn't move. There's no reaction to him when the ball gets kicked up in the air. And I find that sort of thing staggering. And the same thing with that Brentford goal the other week. Look, he didn't start the game, Tosin. He came on for Pedro. But he needs to wake up. We can't have people like that on our team. For all the good he does sometimes on the ball,
the issue is
defending is the most important thing. And if you're not willing to do it, you can't play in a top team.
You can't. The thing is, it's similar to what I'm talking about Fernandes. You can't have Tosin playing every week. I think when he plays every week, the pressure builds on him, and he's going to see lots of mistakes. He isn't a 30. He isn't a 50 game. He isn't a Cucurella. You don't want Tosin playing 50 games, right? You just don't want that. Not to be disparaging. You just want him playing 20, 25 maybe. When he plays regularly, you see some of the good things, but you really, when you get a bigger sample size, you really start to see things. And I think Tosin playing more regularly recently, I've seen a lot of wrinkles in his game, and there's quite a few. Similar to Chalobah a little bit. I think Chalobah's been a bit better, but even
the Josh King got offside. What's he doing for that? And the Brentford one.
Brentford goal,
He's not on it. He's not aggressive enough. It's do you know who reminds me of? The guy next to him who's injured, Badiashile. Exactly the same type of player. Just not at it mentally. Not aggressive enough to think, I'm going to gonna barge everyone out of the way to make sure I head this ball out of play because he's tall enough to do it, but he doesn't have it. He's not there. I just can't imagine someone like Thiago Silva or John Terry, cover. I don't know what's happened in central defence that we've allowed these type of players to be playing for us.
Colwell's injured, isn't he? And then I think if Colwell's in that team, the defence is just better because he is just so more dynamic and so more aggressive. And I thought West Stefano, not warming up, but I thought West Stefano was decent. I thought he was okay.
Yeah, well, he is aggressive. The first kick of the game, they get the kick off, they play it back. United, they boot the ball up. He's the first person to head the ball out.
Yeah, and so from a macro point of view, you really need West Stefano. If West Stefano can't stay fit this season, we're in massive trouble because there's already like Palmer surgery talk, and if Palmer's out for a while and Fofana's out, we are in trouble really. Because for Chalobah and tossing game after game is not it. And let's be honest. So yeah, centre back's a problem. That's all I'll say really.
Who have you got for what? I was going to talk quickly about Pedro because I thought he had a good game.
I actually put this boy in boiling hot because although it wasn't like a boiling hot, like he didn't have loads of shots and he didn't. What shit? I'm a big appreciator of a shift. Do you know what I mean? Like, what a shift he put in. I mean, socks down, only one up there. Maresca literally had a flat back five at times because Reece James got up a bit, but they weren't like wing backs. They were like getting up the pitch a bit. But it was so hard to progress the ball. And then he ran the channels, run throw-ins, should have run off the penalty. Let's be honest, I think it should have been what a shift, man. And just, he's carrying an injury, like just in general, like he's fine, but he's managing it, like managing the. But like he looks like a key player already. Like
he does.
He looks like he's been here 3 years. Like the rest of the team, basically, other than James, maybe. You're like, they look fresh, wet behind the ears. No jokes about the rain ended there. But like, just, I've been at Chelsea for ages. It's fine. Give it to me. And he's been here 2 minutes. Like, fantastic player. And I think he's going to have a great career. I think he'll probably move on, maybe. You can see him in a few years, like going to Madrid or something. He's a quality player. Like, he's a quality player. You can see at one point Chelsea might try and cash in on him. Not because he's bad, but just because he's just a really, really good football player in a lot of different ways. And
hopefully we don't turn into a selling club. And then
that's annoying me about what Carragher said. He's like, oh yeah, they've only got João Pedro. How much are you watching João Pedro? It's like João Pedro's a great player. Like he's just a bit younger.
Yeah, but he's not like I don't know if you saw what he's really talking about. But he's not like a striker, is he?
No, he's not. But okay, he's not. But Delap got.
He's not, but he's just so good, isn't he?
We didn't know Delap was going to do his hamstring after 2 weeks, did we? And let's be honest. I mean, we were a bit.
No, but then you wouldn't. The game. I don't know. It goes back. Why is the squad been planned like that? Where if the striker gets injured, the person who's not a striker then is the striker, and was he actually the striker? Even though Maresca doesn't think he's a striker, and then he plays left wing, even though he's bought 2 left wingers who actually are behind the right wingers.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is João Pedro is going to play 10, and they might have to bring someone in January or play Marguillo a lot. Or when Delap comes back, which will be out in November, I think João Pedro is going to play 10 a lot. And I think Palmer 10, I think they're going to put Palmer back to the right, I think, because it just looks a bit better with Palmer right, Neto left. That was the game. That was the formation. That was the West Ham game, right? Like that's Okay, Palmer turned into Esteval because obviously Palmer got within a mark. But that's when West Ham have been poor, but we look much better than like Pedro 10, Delap 9, Esteval / Palmer, whoever on the right, Neto left wing. We look great, and we need to see more of that. He's just fantastic. What a shift, man! What a shift!
What a shift, yeah. Last thing I'll say is now this idea was shot down multiple times. I think definitely by Craig. Maybe by you too. But what do you think about this whole overlapping wing backs situation with Reece James crossing the ball, and it looks pretty good?
I think it was ironic. That was one of the things that also infuriated me about Russ. Like he says repeatedly that Reece James he thinks is more of a midfielder, and then he puts him right wing back. Like it was very odd. Look, if Reece James has got the legs and he isn't going to get injured, put Reece James a right wing back. Like, get him crossing.
We need Reece James crossing the ball. Look, I've told you boys, that when Reece James is crossing the ball in from the wing again, we'll be in business. And we were in business, but we couldn't get the ball to him enough because he was.
Imagine Delap in there. I mean, Delap is not that good in the air, but imagine Delap in there.
And Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro in there. Yeah, great. But no, Reece James crossing, brilliant.
There you go. Forget about this inverted stuff, yeah? I've solved it.
Maybe that's one thing where Maresca might look at it and go, wow, like he literally was our only attacking threat. Because our only attacking threat was give it to James and he crosses it and causes a bit of chaos. Right? You're
telling me you weren't impressed with Gusto's crossing from the left?
Gusto also can cross well, but to be honest, you want both of them, and Reece James is better, but you want both of them in that kind of last square of the pitch, if you know what I mean, in that position crossing. Does that make sense? It's like
100%.
You know when you play FIFA and before their game, they make you do a little drill. But you want Reece James and Gusto in that position, trying to cross the ball onto like a cone or something, because that's what they're good at. Like the closer they are to the touchline, the better their crosses are. Reece James is like okay at like underlapping crosses where he's crossing it from like 34 out. It's okay, but when he gets to the bar line, whoa, like mad.
I genuinely think people have like. I think Pep Guardiola has killed crossing, and people like it's such a lost art of crossing. But I always think one good cross can win you a football match. And we put one good cross in and we scored, and that's all it takes sometimes. And I think people are getting obsessed with this tiki-taka nonsense, and like that is good, but now we're seeing the long ball come back. You get bloody crosses back.
Yeah, I mean, no, we have got one of the best crosses in world football. So it's
use him.
So
it's madness.
Yeah,
madness. Right. Anyone else? Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think I was very angry during the game and afterwards. Calmed down a bit now, but just it was not a good one, was it?
No, it was bad. Right. As is the new tradition, we're going to go around the grounds and talk about all the games. All right?
All right. Go.
Right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's go. Liverpool 2, Everton 1.
I mean, Liverpool playing badly and winning, sign of champions, worked for back on the bench. That's quite a lot of money. Everton, much more of attacking force this season. I think they'll score quite.
Yeah, I worry about Liverpool's wing backs. I think that could be a big problem for them. And their second half do seem to tire out. They don't have any midfield subs. So, something to watch maybe in the second halves for Liverpool, conceding more goals. Brighton 2, Tottenham 2.
I mean, Brighton, we've got them next week. They're very brittle. Like I said before, they win one week, lose the next, draw, and they're 2-0 up, and they look brittle. You're never convinced that they're going to get the job done. And Thomas Frank Spurs, much more solid. I think they're very good. He's made them probably less exciting than Ange, but way, way more solid.
Yeah, this was a good comeback from Tottenham. And that Javi Simmons kid looks pretty good.
Yeah. Were we linked to him in the summer? I don't
No, we've got the Brighton loanees. Right, Burnley 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
I think Nuno Sakin will come back to Burn Forest. Little Burnley thing there. 4 points at home already for Burnley this season. Turf 4, you can say. They'll need to keep that up if any hope of staying up, because I think they've got City away next week. You can see them get to that 5-6, and they'll need to get 20-25 points at home, I think, to have any chance.
Yeah, I think Forest's sort of defensive solidarity of last season seems to have gone, and they do look like they're going to concede goals, so they need to turn it up on the other end. West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 2.
Potter might need some magic to keep his job, just always with Potter jokes. Graham Potter, bless him, almost. Palace 17. You know how many games Palace... Very quickly.
Say that again, sorry?
You know how many games Palace are unbeaten?
7?
17.
Oh, including last season, yeah, 17. Okay, wow.
Incredible, and Glasner, top coach. I mean, I thought that they'd be really regressed with Eze gone and Sarr injured. Just pick it up. I mean, let's get it done. Just solid team, really good coach, really good team.
Yeah, I do think Palace have some tougher games to come. But yeah, this is another disappointing day out for West Ham, who were slightly improved, but ultimately they just can't defend set pieces, can they? Wolves 1, Leeds 3.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves' first half collapse cost them. They've got a good manager. I only watched their highlights, but they seem to be in games, creating chances, but only team without a point, so they're in trouble. I think massive win for Leeds, because at this rate they'll be on for 50 points plus. But I said that their home form would be critical, but a massive away win. So especially against a kind of what looks like a bottom 5 kind of rival.
Yeah, this is a massive win for Leeds and do them all good. But yeah, I think Wolves are looking like they might be all howled out in the Premier League. Fulham 3, Brentford 1.
I mean, Fulham, I think actually the only ones that I didn't watch the highlights for, but they're so strong at home, aren't they? Really strong. There's 3 different scorers, and might be mistaken there, but yeah, I mean, if Fulham can tuck over Brentford that easily, it doesn't make our 2-2 difference. I
think this is an easy result for Fulham in the end. I watched the game, they were comfortable winners. Brentford are just long through. I don't think they've got anything else going on for them. I don't think they're going to pick up many wins. I think the 2-2, I genuinely think that would be a bad result when you look back. Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 0.
Poor game. I actually watched this game because I had loads of FPL interest in it. But yeah, Newcastle actually completely changed basically their whole 11, which I didn't expect, which made it, they had their second string out. Well, Baltimore did as well, but it meant they were more fresh, but just way less potent. And Bournemouth weren't really on it, so both teams were pretty happy with 0-0, but both good teams, to be honest. I mean, Newcastle, their ex-conceded numbers are very low, and Bournemouth, just Ariola's a really good coach, great coach.
Yeah, I thought Newcastle were going to draw a lot of games this season. They just don't have any goals in them, really. Yeah. And this was the only game of the weekend that didn't have both teams to score, which is surprising considering the amount of goals in it last time. Yeah. Sunderland 1, Aston Villa 1.
I also was watching this one at the same time because I had Watkins and Rodgers and FPL for some reason. You've got, I think, generated 0 XG between them. And we had the little Jadon Sancho. But yeah, I mean, he was actually pretty good, Sancho. He should have got assist at the end. But Emery walks down the tunnel before the end of the game. He might have had enough. I think there's a thing where Emery might walk, and I will butcher his pronunciation, but I think it's Lebris. I don't know how to pronounce it in French, but Lebris is the Sunderland manager. Sorry for pronunciation, but promoted teams, they're fighting, man. They're getting points. They're ticking over.
10 men as well. This was an amazing comeback. And Villa looked like they could be in a relegation scrap if they carry on like this.
And Cash's goal was goalkeeping mistake, really.
Yeah, it was.
They had a pop shot from range, and Villa barely created anything else.
Yeah. He's a good coach, Emery. Might be one to look out for. Arsenal 1, Man City 1.
Pep parks the bus and it breaks down 2 minutes from home. And the Arsenal trophy parade for the draw is going on as we speak, I think.
Yeah, this is a strange reaction to scoring the goal, but this is classic Arsenal. But I thought actually they dominated the game. Lowest possession, I think, for a Pep team in the Premier League, which is good. But yeah, this was a very dire game to watch, I'll be honest with you.
One caveat is there's no more Thursday Champions League games, by the way. So
yeah.
So that didn't have an effect on Guardiola because they played Napoli Thursday night. Okay, against 10 men, fair enough, but I think he just felt they didn't have the legs to match Arsenal, so he just kind of sat back and nearly worked. I think
you're taking Haaland off sort of 15 minutes to go or whatever. That was brutal.
Basically, Brian was up front the last 20 minutes. It was a bit odd, really. I mean, he's got Marmoush and Cherky out, hasn't he? Savinio, so he might go a bit more defensive a little bit and just rely on Haaland because, yeah, I mean, Haaland is so good in the break. But yeah, I mean, they've got Pep Linders now, haven't they? The old Liverpool number 2 under Klopp. So I think they will adapt their style with touch.
Yeah. Interesting game. Hopefully the game at the Etihad will be better.
It wasn't a barnstorm, though, was it? You're hoping for a barnstorm.
Yeah.
It's always a bit like Liverpool, Arsenal was like that. City, Arsenal.
They're always a bit. These big games are always a little bit like that at the beginning of the season.
They're never 4-3, are they? Do you know what I mean? It's always a bit like 1-1. It's not boring.
Well, this is the old Mourinho way of just making sure you don't lose these games rather than trying to win them.
Yeah, but Eze looks again. Eze got the assist in the end.
Very good player. Yeah. Right, that concludes Around the Grounds.
Lovely.
Right, we'll have a quick look at the FPL.
I'm happy about that. I had a great week.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, bench boost, mate.
Oh, here he is, bench booster.
Yeah,
He's straight up the top, with reindeer games.
Yeah, I'm top 5. Probably what Chelsea can hope for this year. So
back in good Munson after his own goal. Good on you.
Yeah. So Boomer FC, Paul Fontaine, or Pab, as we like to know him, he's top of the league. Who do you have? Oh, Haaland captain, very nice.
Yeah. Haaland seems to be the man. This Verts, I think people got to get Verts out, haven't they?
Yeah, he's got Kudus, Gahey, just solid picks. He has Sanchez on the bench. Well done, -3.
I think a lot of people are backing Bournemouth to score goals, and when Semenyo doesn't pop off, it's kind of like kills that. Really has a big hit on the FPL leagues.
You had Isaac captain, mate. How'd that work out?
Yeah, I don't think I did mine. How did I do?
Oh dear.
Yeah, Guy Okerez, how's he doing? Minte though, that's lovely goal around the goalie. A dying art of running around the goal.
You had a Mitchell and a Minte goal. Wow.
Yeah, should have gone for Petrovic.
Get Wan-Bissaka out though. Don't know.
Wan-Bissaka, is he injured? I think.
Get Chalobah
in. What's Craig doing in this? Is he Cole Palmer FC? Oh dear. Yeah, everyone's got all the same players. So.
Oh, Palmer. Oh dear. Get you first bench. Oh, nightmare.
He's back in Aston Villa. That is not the team to be back in this season.
He's a good team as well.
He hasn't got Esteval on the bench. He's got Esteve.
Yeah, he's actually got 4 Chelsea players. How's he managed that?
Yeah, that's illegal, isn't it? No, he's got Mark Guiu. Because he would have been at Sunderland, wouldn't he?
I think he has to transfer Guiu out next week. So but yeah.
I think if your next transfer has to be that they're removed, disaster.
He's got the same as me. He's got double Villa. We got 10 blanks in a row. So not great.
Keep backing them. Keep backing the Villa. I think the next game is Fulham at home. So that'll be interesting. Right. Onwards and upwards. Look, the next game is obviously Lincoln away. Who are you hoping to see out there for Chelsea in that one? Obviously, it'll be a lot of rotation, I hope.
I think the team will be. I think you've got Jorgensen in goal.
Yeah.
I think you can have. I think Josh Ashapong will get minutes. I think you've got to start Gittins. I think Esteval will start. Garnacho will start. Probably start Tyree George. He'll start Andres. Although Andres played a lot of minutes on Saturday. I think you cannot have Caicedo anywhere near. I think there'll be a lot of. I mean, it might be some academy boys in there. Maybe Mayuka. I'm not sure because sometimes the development travelling and that. But I'd like to see Mayuka in there if he's in the squad. I think it's really a shame that Sue goes in. There's loads of players they could have given minutes, but I mean, obviously there's going to be mass rotation. Like Caicedo and the likes, they need a week off. So
he might stick one of those. He might put like Hato. He might do Santos in there and then play like Hato was like a inverted wing, left back, and then play 3 kind of. He might actually play Fofana.
Hato, of course.
Who else? Is Badiashile back?
No, they're not back. Him and Lavia are not back yet. I think Wes might play some more minutes, maybe.
He needs more minutes for sure.
Just looking through the team, so I think he'll be getting. Literally getting. Oh, Bonanotte, I forgot about him. So
he'll play. Yeah, it'll be the Brentford team.
It'll probably be Bonanotte in the 10, Garnacho wing, Gittins. I don't know. Well, Gittins maybe Garnacho right wing or I don't know what they're going to do. But
I think Garnacho's gonna play this game, isn't he? Definitely.
Yeah, they'll do Tyree George in the 9 again. Bless him. Give it another go. They might get Mayuka out the 21s, but I'm not sure they can do that.
I said if he doesn't beat Lincoln, he should resign. I stand by that. This is actually a must-win. It's crazy to think that. Have to win this game. Cannot go out of this cup, especially when he keeps trying to rotate all these players. Got to give him a game somewhere. So, we don't want to be. If he goes out of this game, this is
Lincoln 3rd in League One, mate. Flying high.
They are doing well in League One, yeah.
No mugs. They're actually only lost 1 in 9 games. Oof, tough game.
They'll be up for this, especially at home. It's going to be a really, they're a decent team, Lincoln, in that league. So
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, look, that's all we've got time for. Thanks very much, Brady.
No problem, mate. No problem.
We'll be back regardless of the result, probably after the Brighton game to talk about that. But for more updates on all things ESCR, you can follow us on X at Eat Sleep Chelsea and Instagram at Eat Sleep Chelsea Repeat. As always, we hope you're carefree wherever you may be, and thanks for listening.